Hey, turn that up for a second there, Copes.
See, that's a great hook. Yeah.
That's our guy.
That's No Erasing. That's one of the more recent Steve Perry singles from, I think, 2018.
2017-18,
Yeah.
Steve Perry's No Erasing. Hey, there's no erasing this guy's impact on the Giants Community Fund and Junior Giants or on the world of rock and roll.
Oh, heck yeah.
He's a rock and roll Hall of Famer. He's a friend of the program.
Yes.
He's a Giants fan. We
Big
got a lot of
time.
exciting stuff to talk about with his donation to the Junior Giants auction right now. But first and foremost, a big, hearty Murph and Mac welcome and hello to our friend Steve Perry on the UMA guest line. Hey, Steve, thank you so much for coming on the Murph and Mac show. Good morning, Steve.
Hey,
How are
Steve.
you?
How are you, man?
Good morning to you. Is this the famous sports leaders Murph and Matt?
It is.
You're talking to the ones and only.
We're talking to, is this the famous
Okay.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Steve Perry?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Hey, congrats on that, by the way. I should say real quick before we get started, you know, Steve, that was a long time coming, way overdue, and we hadn't spoken to you since the Hall of Fame ceremony. So from the Murph and Mac show and all of us here in the Bay Area, hats off, man. It should have happened years ago, but better late than never. Congrats.
Well, you know, the Bay Area was so instrumental in making that happen. I'll tell you, that's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's great, man. Hey, listen, it's so great to have you on, and I know you got exciting stuff going on with a new Christmas album coming up and all that, but you're talking to me, Brian Murphy, Steve, I'm the co-chair for the next 2 years with my wonderful and extremely talented co-chair, Kelly Larkin Coover, of the Junior Giants, the Giants Community Fund. And
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
That's such a great community fund.
Well-
I love them. I've been donating for years with them.
You have been since 2002, Steve,
God
been a
bless
friend
you.
of the fund,
Yeah.
okay? And in 2014, you donated a meet and greet as part of the World Series raffle to raise money for the kids. This one,
Right.
though, this is above and beyond, Steve. Let's talk about the 1979.
Let me tell you what this one is. This one is like the ultimate collector's bundle because this car, this 1979 450 SL, was the first car I ever got when I made some money in the music business, and I've had it ever since. And I used to write songs in this car, going to rehearsal, going to studios, going to record music. But I called it windshield, songwriting, because as you're driving, ideas would come to me, and I would sing them into a cassette. So this car has a history with me that is musical in nature and like a pet. So I've had it from the very beginning, along with the bundle is my tuxedo coat that I've worn many times on stage,
Yep.
custom made by a gentleman in San Francisco named Kurt, and a wonderful old tailor, and also the Season record, which is my first holiday classic songs record I've ever made in my life. I will personalize too. So this bundle, all the funds in the auction go to the San Francisco Giants Community Fund.
Hey, Steve, I got to ask, when you were driving around in the Mercedes and you're doing the windshield driving, as you said, and you got song ideas,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, man. I'm a big fan of your catalog, all your stuff, and so would a melody come to you, like a specific? Do you remember any specific songs?
Oh, I do. One time I had gone down to Los Angeles because we were on a little bit of a break, and I had driven that car to L.A., and I was coming back to San Francisco to start writing what was to be the Escape record. And on the I-5, in the middle of the I-5, which we all know could be a desolate place, especially back then it was very desolate, I would be thinking of ideas and looking out the windshield. And in my cassette, I started thinking, one love feeds the fire, doing songs. All of a sudden, Who's Crying Now was born on the I-5 in
Nice, dude.
That is
nice.
so great. So this is so good. First of all, people can get this car, and you donate to the kids. You go to jrgiants.org/cars. Okay, so jrgiants.org/cars, and we're going all the way through Thursday, Steve. And I know we talked to our mutual friend Sue Peterson, who we both love so dearly. And
Love Sue.
And when Sue told me that she was going to your house to get the pictures with the car and everything for the website, I said, could you ask Steve to come on the show? I said, because hopefully we have some good listeners out here, Steve. We got good listeners, good base, good group. We love our listeners. And we have some people who have been fortunate enough to make a little money in their lives. And if they can go bid on this thing and get that money going to the kids, because the Giants Community Fund, we're doing Willie Mays Scholarship Fund. We're giving to African-American kids in San Francisco high schools, the Harmon and Sue Burns Scholars that we do, all the stuff we do, all the leagues, all the stuff we do. You can be driving Steve Perry's car and donating to that, right?
Yeah, it's such a great place to give back to somewhere you can trust, and something good is going to be done with what you got to give. It's just that simple.
You're giving back, Steve. You created something for the world, and the world rewarded you with money.
That's awesome.
You bought a car, and now this car,
Yeah.
all these years later, is going to go help the kids.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, that's the spirit of, like, see,
Sure.
that to me, Steve, is like old school San Francisco. Like Bill Graham would do a lot of benefits and give back to the community, and you carry that tradition, man.
I know. Boy, isn't Bill Graham missed? I mean, that guy created a complete culture and supported a complete movement up there. It was a big loss when we lost Bill.
Steve Perry, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, and Giants fan. Steve, we got to talk a little about your beloved Giants, our beloved Giants.
Oh,
Steve,
boy.
What a team,
How about
brother.
those Giants? This year, I mean, is Gabe doing a great job or what?
this is off the
It's
charts,
unheard
Steve.
of.
You got to know all the hard. We're like, we're the sports talk guys. We're like, Gabe Kapler, who's this guy? The Phillies didn't want him, and this isn't a very good hire. Excuse me. They're 97 and 53, Steve.
Yes.
No, they're doing great. I mean, there's such, the thing about the Giants, because I'm down in the San Diego area, and I get a lot of, forgive me, ball busting. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Just, I'm a Giants fan,
Right.
And I got to tell you, I just tell everybody, look, the difference between all these teams that are getting paid mega money to buy the mega players is that the Giants once again have heart. Heart is what plays baseball, not money.
I mean, listen, Steve, you probably speak the same way in music, right? I mean, although I
Yes,
guess rock,
because- No, that's true. That's absolutely true. The thing I saw in baseball years ago that sort of rescued me was that you had to be able to play. When the music business was turning around the late early 90s, there was pro, tuners and Pro Tools and all these other gizmos
Yeah.
that made music electronic.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to sing. But the auto-tune would fix it for you.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? There's no auto-tune for baseball. You got to play.
Yeah.
You got to play.
Yeah, man. I like that.
well, Steve, I didn't know you spent
You
some.
got to step up to the bat, grab your bat, whether it's a microphone or a bat. You got to play.
That's it.
I don't know where you were Friday night. Maybe you were busy or doing something else, but they had a game Friday night that spoke to the chemistry and the particles.
Oh, man.
Where they got dealt a
What a game.
gut punch on a 3-run homer by the Braves to take the lead, and the Giants came back with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. They hit a home run, Steve, and then they sent a pitcher up to hit a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 11th, and the crowd was going crazy. Like probably what you made the arenas sound like in 1981.
Or Day on the Green, maybe. Yeah, one or the other.
It's amazing that this team just gets so much energy from the fans, and they'll even tell you that the fans are the best. The fans really, really. Let me just tell you something really quick I discovered. Well, a few years ago, I went back on a stage after 25 years absence, and there's a group called the Eels.
Yeah.
And he is a friend of mine. He said, why don't you come up sometime to sing some sort of encore with us? I discovered something I think that the players and the team know, that when you're in front of an audience that really is pulling for you, this other thing happens to you. In essence, you become something that you belong to them with,
Yeah.
And I rediscovered that when I was with the Eels. There's a certain aspect of my voice that you can't find in the studio. When you're in front of people, your voice belongs to them, and they bring it out of you. Well, that same thing happens, I think, with this team. They're just so inspired by the fans.
Steve, we're talking to Steve Perry, legendary vocalist of Journey, also just renowned vocalist extraordinaire. And Steve, you're talking about the relationship that a team has with an audience, or in your case, a band, a musician has with an audience.
Yeah.
I've wanted to ask you this for a long time because sadly, we lost a good friend of ours on the show, Dwight Clark, a couple of years ago, former 49er.
I know Dwight. I met Dwight, yeah.
Right, and that's what I wanted to mention this because I've always wanted to ask you about the time on the Escape Tour when you guys did multiple nights at the Cow Palace. I know Dwight Clark actually wound up on stage with you guys, and I just always wanted to ask you how that happened. Tell us about that.
Well, our manager here was a huge 49er fan, and he kept us totally in touch with Eddie DeBartolo and the team. And that's how that happened. And years later, after all that had passed, I met him, and we went to a couple of Giants games together. He was the sweetest, most wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I heard he had passed. It gets scary because we're all on the edge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if our lives at this point, for some of us, by the way, guys, if our lives have a song, Hey Jude, we're in the na-nas, if you know what I'm talking about.
Dude, I like that. Na. Yeah, man.
All
Yeah, that's a
the song
good.
is great, but it's back there a bit.
We're in the na-nas now. The verses are
We're in the
done.
na-nas now, guys.
Dude,
Okay?
Or we in lights, we're in the woes, right?
That's right.
Hey, by the way,
the outro jam.
Steve, that's a great line. By the way, I want to let you know. I want to let you know. Friday night, I was at the ball game with my two boys, and that was as thrilling a win as I've seen ever at that park. And what did we sing in the middle of the 8th inning? We sang Lights.
Hell
letting
yeah.
you know.
It's such a, I can't explain the emotion that happens when I'm there and that happens. It's such a reverence. I just can't tell you how much it means to me.
Did you didn't write Lights in the Mercedes? Did you? By the way, we should get back to the
No, that was
to the point.
No, but I wrote Lights. I didn't have the Mercedes at that point. I originally wrote it years ago, trying to get something going with a TV show, with the news. I thought at 6 o'clock I needed to make some money, so I thought I'd write a song. All I had was the chorus. But when I joined the band, I realized that it was perfect for the Bay.
Yep.
And then Neil Sean and I wrote the bridge, and the song was done.
Oh, so great, Steve. And by the way, let's get back to the point here. We want to lose the plot. Couple more minutes here with Steve before we let him go. Busy man. The Junior Giants, near and dear to my heart as the co-chair of the Giants Committee Fund with Kelly Larkin Coover and our great friend Sue Peterson, the executive director. We have a special, so the Junior Giants car donation program raises over $300,000 for us every year. But Steve's looking to kick it to a next level. His beloved 1979 Mercedes convertible and his custom-made touring tuxedo tails jacket worn during the concert performances, and an autographed copy of Steve's new holiday album called The Season, which I want to talk to you about. Steve, I got to tell you, like many Americans, I love my holiday music. I mean, it's a big part of our lives, a big part of our culture. And I'm thinking, thank God Steve Perry finally did one.
I can't wait to hear you sing this
I want
stuff.
this thing like now. I want Christmas to come tomorrow so I can hear this album.
Yeah. I was literally teleported back to times when I was a child, because I've always loved these timeless classic songs. So I thought, well, let me try to record and sing some of those. And it was a challenge emotionally to walk through those moments, because there were times when Please Have Snow and Mistletoe and Presents Under the Tree, that stuff like that would happen when I was singing that line. All of a sudden, I was teleported to my grandmother's kitchen, looking through the door into the living room where she used to put the tree up, and I had to stop because I got emotional, and I realized I was there for a second. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit, because the songs, the classic Christmas songs, which, by the way, because of the pandemic, we've all been just hungry for those moments to touch those songs once again.
Yes.
And so I got the opportunity myself to touch those songs for the first time in my life, and they really changed me, and I'm so looking forward to the holidays coming. And so I finished them, and here they are. The season is out. If you want to get it, you can go to steveperry.com.
Okay.
It's there. Or if you want to do it for the Community Giants Fund, I will autograph a personal copy to you, the family, whomever, to you personally, along with the jacket and my windshield songwriting 79 Millsdale.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Steve, by the way, if I've been on the Mercedes, can I wear the tuxedo jacket while driving the Mercedes?
That'd be up to him, I guess, Steve, right?
Can I just get honest with you?
Yeah.
You can get in it. You can wear it.
That's all, man.
It's a little tight. It's a little tight on Uncle Steve right now.
No, I hear you, bro. It's like that for all of us.
Man, I'm on your. By the way, I'm on your website, steveperry.com. There it is, Steve Perry, The Season, available November 5th. You can pre-order it, but you can. What you don't have to wait to pre-order is the auction ends this Thursday morning.
Get it.
And we know, Steve. Like I said, we have listeners who are fortunate to have some means. They're very generous.
They will answer the
very
bell.
generous listeners. That's why I told Sue, I said, listen, we want to talk to Steve anytime. But I said, Sue, we can use our platform to get money for the fund and the kids. And so hopefully somebody out there can be inspired to bid on this thing. By the way, how blank and cool would be? Say, that car? Oh, that's Steve Perry's 1979 Mercedes that he wrote. That's right. He wrote all the songs.
As a collector, if you're a Journey fan, you're going to want to own my car.
Let me just say again, for the guys that are just joining us, Steve mentioned earlier in this interview that he had gotten the original melody line for Who's Crying Now driving this car.
In that car.
Yeah.
Oh, many others, too. Going to rehearsals, many others.
Any others?
The windshield songwriting, staring out the road.
God bless you, man.
Any others that come to mind other than Who's Crying Now?
Oh, yeah. Who's Crying Now? Don't Stop Believing was part of it, too.
Nice.
Going to rehearsals.
Nice.
How did,
Always working on songs in the car.
What came first? What came first in Don't Stop Believing? The chorus, the melody? What came first?
Honestly, the outro chorus came last because I knew we had to have a chorus of choruses. We had all these great pieces, but now I told John we need to write the chorus of choruses.
And you sure did, buddy. You sure did, man. Well done, bro.
We were lucky.
Well done.
Hey, Steve, you're such a good guy, man, and the way you do it now. The only question would be now the Giants are going to the playoffs. We hope it's a deep run.
Yes.
Can we get you in the yard
We might
for
need
some
you.
particles?
We need you with the rally rag, Steve.
Oh, okay. I'll be there with a rally rag. Don't worry.
Okay, don't worry. All right. Everybody, it's a 1979 Mercedes 450 SL, silver hardtop, black soft top. It is jrgiants.org/cars. It's Steve Perry giving. He's given an autographed copy of the season and the custom-made tuxedo jacket.
Very
But it's all
generous,
about
Steve.
give it to the kids. You're just a great dude. We've had you on before.
God bless
we
you,
look
man.
forward to it every time. Can't wait for the season to listen to your music.
You are the very best. You are not only the sports leaders, you are the very best. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Steve
brother.
Perry.
Yeah.
Go do it, baby.
Cheers, Steve.
You're the man.
Thank you.
Okay, kids. Let's go there. Let's go all the way here. Let's go all the way.
Steve Perry on the UMA guest line.
I gotta go like towel off now.
Mike drop.
I mean, like,
KNBR 104.5 and 680.